today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV 8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One. Your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to
Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Indeed, good morning to you, everyone, and welcome to the final day of June of 2026. I'm Pearson Bowman. That makes it today, the 30th of June. Indeed, and to all of you, welcome to the start of a brand new day. It's a Tuesday, lest you lose your marker in time. And so I want to remind you that today is another awesome day to make an awesome difference to someone, just someone. And as you do so every day, if you make that your agenda, then every day your community will build. So to all of you, good morning. Thank you for joining us on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and we're grateful for you having been there. Remember to share the show, share the love, bring others along, and let them engage in what we do so that we build community and we build capacity. Thank you so much. As you have conversations among yourselves, have conversation with us as well. And also, if you know of something to be told or someone who has a story to tell, because you know about it, tell us about it. We will happily share that story here on Mornin Barbados. And you can do so simply by sending us an email. It just flashed across your screen. I hope you saw it. It's Mornin Barbados. There it is. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Take note of the email address. That's your way to contact the show, and I encourage you to do so. We thank you literally for doing so as well. It's Tuesday. The competition continues for you to spot, connect, and win with us at the CBC. After all, we are in the festival vibe. And I want to encourage you, look at your screen. This is what you're looking for. This is what you need to spot. This vehicle that you're looking at, you will see at Crop Over event events and activities you will see at all of the CBC activations, because on Friday it's going to be the Friday Signals, and then on Saturday we're going to be out and about. So when you see us, take a picture of it. Take a picture of that vehicle right there with that branding. Look at it carefully. That's what you're looking for. Take that photograph and you will send it with your name and your contact details by email to contests@cbc.bb. Contests, plural, at cbc.bb, or you can send it by WhatsApp to 233-7356. And so those pictures with your details get you into the competition, because at the end of July, we're making a draw, and perhaps this could be yours. The brand new Suzuki Across GLX 4-wheel drive with a sunroof. It is a hybrid vehicle. It is just superb. And it could be yours. It can also be yours if you take a test drive at Inchcape Barbados. You can just register for a test drive and you get an entry in. You can buy some genuine parts or a special kit indeed from the parts department and you're in. You can test drive any of the Suzuki brand and you're in. You can also book a service and you're in with your entry. Or you can actually decide you want to test drive the brand new Suzuki e-powered Vitara. There's a brand new Vitara there at the showcase as well. So I want you to go check it all out and be a part. You can also log on to NTI and you can sign up for that course, Staying on the Edge of AI. And once you do and you complete the course, you have an entry in. You can buy your $40 worth of tickets, and there's some games you can play with the Barbados lotteries. You take a photograph of that ticket that you have and you of course put on your name and your contact details and send it, as I told you, by email or by WhatsApp, and you're in. You can get a loan from the Student Revolving Loan Fund, srlfloans.edu.bb, and there's special educational loans that you can sign up for, and you're in. See how simple it is? You're just in. So I want to encourage you to be a part of our competition indeed. So I don't let the time get away. Let me tell you, coming up today, we're having our conversations on CARICOM, and we're taking a look at Ambassador Commissiong's recent visit to Accra, Ghana, because there was a Next Steps high-level consultation meeting, and we want to hear a little bit more about the outcomes from that meeting. Also today, the National Organization of Women, they have a new executive, so they have a new mandate. What is that new mandate and what can we expect in this new iteration? As business owners, you need to hear about this. There is a move afoot to have you register, and there's a reason for your compliance. We will get details on why you need to take this quite seriously indeed. Have you ever looked at the cost of burnout? Do you know what burnout looks like? There is a cost to burnout. And so a financial strategist will join us as we discuss a little deeper into what burnout looks like and what is the cost, so that you avoid having a miserable life. And with this being the season of Emancipation, we want to look at an activity that's coming up on August the 1st, Emancipation Day. Ahead of it, we'll share with you the details of what you can expect. So I'll take a break right here. When we come back, we get started in our conversations on CARICOM.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 8 minutes now after 6 o'clock. Let's get started this morning in our conversations on CARICOM, as we're always happy to have and hear from Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Comissiong. Ambassador Comissiong, good morning.
Morning, Pearson.
As always, welcome home. Welcome back. Everywhere you go, it's home anyway, as people of African descent.
Yeah, but it's always special to come back to Barbados.
Oh, I love that, indeed. But you were abroad, you were away because you were attending a very serious conversation, a very serious high-level meeting, as a matter of fact. Where did you go and what was it designed to do?
Well, CARICOM went to Africa. So we all went to Accra, Ghana, for a very special conference called by the government of Ghana between the 17th and the 19th of June. So I was part of a delegation led by Prime Minister Motley. That delegation included Minister Trevor Prescott. We made the journey with her, of course, Prime Minister's Permanent Secretary, Alice Jordan, but also an advance party who went ahead of us, Ambassador Lolita Applewhite and Mr. Rodney Grant. And of course, we have the embassy in Ghana. So the entire delegation was hosted by the team on the ground, High Commissioner Juliet Bino-Sutherland, Mr. David Gibbs, and Phil Phillips. So it was a very substantial Barbadian presence at this. They call it the Next Steps. The Next Steps High-Level Consultative Conference on the next steps to the landmark UN resolution declaring the trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement as the gravest crime against humanity. So it was a follow-up to that historic resolution that Ghana, with the support of many countries, including Barbados, put before the UN on the 25th of March. That was passed with the vote of 123 nations in the UN General Assembly. And this was, so Ghana called everybody together. Okay, so we have passed the resolution. Where do we go now? What are the next steps? And that is what we discussed in Accra.
Actually, there were a number of thematic panels that were designed as well to focus the discussion, one of which was transcontinental cooperation, the legal approaches to reparatory justice, economic restitution, cultural and artifact restitution as well, which I find really interesting, civil society engagement and strengthening of Africa's voice in global discussions. How did that, with those broad themes, how did that then play out generally over those few days?
Well, those are all of the different components of the reparations campaign. So the African Union, for example, they have set up 2 commissions. They've set up an overall commission of experts to give advice on how to go forward with reparations, just like we have our CARICOM Reparations Commission. But they've also set up a commission of legal experts, on which I am included, actually, to look at legal strategies and approaches. And of course, some of the other things that you mentioned there, for example, for Africa, the return of artifacts is much, much more important than for us in the Caribbean. We haven't suffered to the same. We still have, there's still some artifacts that need to be returned to the Caribbean, particularly pertaining to the indigenous people of the Caribbean. But Africa, there was a large-scale looting of all kinds of African artifacts, thousands that are to be found in private collections and museums all over Europe and North America. So in fact, those were panels that looked at these different areas. And one of the main outcomes of the conference was the setting up of 3 global committees to deal with just, in fact, I'll give you the names. So there was the establishment of a global Advisory Council on Reparatory Justice. So this will be the panel that gives the broad advice on how to go forward. And Prime Minister Motley is a member of that panel. Sir Hilary Beckles is also a member, as is former Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves. So the Caribbean is very well represented. From Africa, you have the President of Ghana, the President of Liberia, the president of Senegal, and the president of Namibia. Then they also established an expert panel on restitution of cultural artifacts. So in addition to having the discussion, they've actually set up a high-level global panel, and then a high-level global panel of legal experts for reparatory justice. So this is all about, next steps. What are the next steps? Well, part of the next steps is to build the infrastructure, the committees, the panels of experts for taking forward this reparations campaign. CARICOM
was represented, but you thought it was Europe. Who were some of the heads who were at that meeting, or some of the important people who were a part of the conversation at that meeting?
Well, but from Europe, I guess the main spokesperson from Europe was President Macron of France. He wasn't there physically, but he addressed the conference virtually. There were also addresses from representatives of Germany, the Netherlands, I believe. What I could tell you is that a number of these European countries are beginning to come around, are beginning to acknowledge, yes, there is legitimacy in this claim for reparations. Denmark, for example, they also made a statement, made some form of acknowledgement. So what they're saying, they're committing to, for example, a return of artifacts. Well, first of all, they're committing to an acknowledgement of the crime.
Yes.
And to make apologies for the crime. They're committing to return of artifacts, stolen artifacts. They're committing to doing memorialization, museums, and making sure the history is properly recorded, remembered. The Danish, for example, they were responsible for building a number of the slave forts, the forts along the coast of Ghana and other places in Africa. For example, Christiansborg Castle, where slaves were brought to and then shipped to the Caribbean. So they have committed that they will help to maintain these sites as sites of memory. What they are not coming out and saying is we give a commitment to material reparations. And so that is where we're going to have to engage with them, because yes, it's good for you to make apology. It's good for you to engage in activities designed to preserve the history and to memorialize and to return artifacts, but you need to go beyond that. You need to go beyond that, and that is where we have not heard those voices saying, we acknowledge that we have to repair, we have to be part of the repair of the material damage to African civilization and to the nations of the African diaspora. So that was the European side of it, but of course, this was really a coming together of the African family. So you had heads of state from Africa. I mentioned some, Namibia, very powerful speech from the president of Namibia, Liberia, Libya, Senegal, Algeria, Equatorial Guinea, Sao Tome, the African Union. As I said, CARICOM was there, well represented. But in addition, the African family from North America, from the United States, from Europe, the British MP, Belle Ribeiro Addy, who was leading the reparations cause in the British House of Commons, for example. So it was a great coming together of the African family, the global African family, to come together in unity and to plan. Where do we go from here? Yeah.
And that's the question I want to have answered in the second segment as well, because we want to take a break here. I want to hear what CARICOM, because Prime Minister addressed, and so we want to hear what the position was laid out from CARICOM and much more on where do we go from next, right after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray microbiome.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
You've literally joined us at the right time. We're having our conversations on CARICOM, on his return from Accra, Ghana. Barbados ambassador to CARICOM, a party of the Barbados delegation to Accra, is reporting to us on what was that next steps high-level consultation meeting all about. And as I turned the pages of this book, like he shared with me, one of the pages I fell on was "The time for justice is now." That's a bold statement. And so, Ambassador, as we continue our conversations, the question is, what's justice like? How does the Caribbean and CARICOM represent what or suggest what justice can look like from our perspective?
Well, you know, we are very clear that when we talk about reparations, we are not just talking about addressing the past. We are also talking about addressing the present. Because of that past, we live in a world where anti-black racism is still embedded in much of the structure of this world. I mean, even right now the World Cup is going on.
Yes.
You know, almost all the time you hear about incidents of black footballers being insulted and racial chants. Have you ever heard of a white footballer being treated in that way to racist abuse? You've never heard it. Yet, you know, white footballers play all over the world. It's just so, because of that history, there is so much injustice wedded into the structure of the world that we live in. And we are saying, look, we have to address that. We have to repair that. We have to remove that. We have to bring fairness and equity to the black peoples of this world. So it is not just about the past, it is about repairing the present and creating a better future, a future of enlightenment, you know? And that was the message that resonated throughout the conference. It is not about bitterness or aggression or attacking anyone, but it is about getting us all to see that a tremendous wrong was done. It created a lot of damage for a segment of the human family, damage that exists up to today, and that has to be addressed, you know, so that we could have a new age of enlightenment. So Prime Minister Motley, she addressed the conference, she addressed the gathering twice. One, the high-level session of the conference, but she also spoke at the slave fort, Christiansborg Castle, also known by the Ghanaian name of Osu, the Osu Castle, the door of no return, a very moving ceremony. And if you examine her two addresses, 2 points come shining through. One, unity. That we must pursue this reparations cause, not Africa separate and the Caribbean separate and the African Americans separate. No, we must come together in unity. In fact, the reparations cause must bind us together as a global African family, and we pursue it together. But secondly, that the reparations cause is the people's cause. We must never believe that it is a cause simply for governments and for university professors and for specialist civil society organizations, and that it is critical that at every level we give this cause to the masses of our people. And one of the things that she did at the conference, CARICOM used the conference to launch this document. You know, you would have heard about the CARICOM 10-point plan,
Yes.
which we established way back in 2014 when we first started the conversation about reparations. But in recent times, that 10-point plan has evolved. It has been further developed, and we are now talking about a manifesto for the coming enlightenment. So we took the opportunity at this global gathering to launch this new document. And this new document is going to be critical in the whole process of public education and taking that reparations cause to the masses of our people. So I'm actually looking forward eagerly to being able to use this document with the Barbadian people. Yeah, we're going to have some serious reparations groundings all across Barbados, focus on this new CARICOM reparations manifesto.
And it's important that we do so because as a people, as the Prime Minister said, it's by the people, for the people. And so as I turned the pages of the manifesto for just a moment, I turned to page 1 and I saw a quotation from Bob Marley, the Wailers, from the song Slave Driver. Every time I hear the crack of a whip, my blood turns cold. I remember on the slave ship how they brutalized the very souls. Today they say that we are free, only to be chained in poverty. Slave driver, the table is turned.
Yes.
And it's a profound statement. And then we had a performance at the conference as well, the high-level meeting.
Oh, yes. Well, that high-level section of the whole conference was very, very powerful. We had Morgan Heritage. We had Gramps Morgan with a powerful song that rocked the arena, you know, with his reparations message. And so that was a very powerful, we had speakers like Prime Minister Motley, President John Mahama of Ghana, as I said, a very powerful speech from the President of Namibia, Sir Hilary Beckles, addressed that high-level segment. Wole Soyinka of Nigeria, the Nigerian Nobel laureate. I can't remember all the personalities offhand, but it was very impressive. And it was at that high-level section that Prime Minister launched the CARICOM manifesto. So Bob Marley, Slave Driver. You know, I always say that Bob Marley's last great composition, Redemption Song, is the national anthem of the African diaspora. Because if you want one song that tells the story, you know, of who we are, of where we came from, and it is really Redemption Song. So yes, those our artists have done us proud, and songs like this we must use to help drive the reparations campaign.
So the other question then is, what next? Now that we've done this, we've had these few days in Accra, Ghana, and now we're back to our respective spaces. What next?
Well, what next? The Accra Next Steps commitments on reparatory justice. So this is the actual outcomes document that I have here in my hand. One of the things that is going to happen is that a report on what came out of this conference is going to be presented to the Secretary General of the United Nations, indicating to the UN, we've passed the resolution, this is where we're going with this now. So this document really represents Africa finding its vision and its voice on reparations. In a sense, Africa is kind of playing catch up with CARICOM, because you know, we started this process back in 2013, and it was CARICOM, you know, who kind of reached out to Africa and said, Africa, look, we want you on this journey with us. We want to partner with you. And Africa responded very positively. So they are now in the process of kind of refining their voice and vision. And this document represents their thinking, with inputs from us as well. We contributed to this as well. But then they come to the final section. After they outline, the fundamental thoughts about reparations, we welcome the President of Ghana's decision to establish the underlisted global multi-stakeholder panels as supportive institutional mechanisms. And I mentioned them, the High-Level Global Advisory Council. So these three panels were actually established at the conference. And the members of the panels were introduced to the conference. We also agreed to convene this consultative conference annually, during which we shall, amongst other things, discuss the work of the established councils and panels. So it is expected that every year these panels will give a report on what they have done. We recommend that all reparatory justice measures be designed in consultation with affected communities through inclusive and accessible processes, ensuring meaningful participation and local ownership in their implementation. We encourage the enhancement of the activities of citizen rights movements on the reparatory justice agenda and commit to actively support the global reparations movement. So again, this idea that it must not be an elite thing. This must be a mass movement. There's also the idea that we must very quickly establish global reparations fund. So we start that process of institutions, entities, families who acknowledge the wrong, who want to make some form of restitution, actually starting to make those kinds of payments, that we establish a global fund that can further help to finance the reparations movement. Of course, while we welcome those kind of gestures by families and institutions, we know that what we are really aiming at is even at a higher level than that. We are aiming at the level of governments and the global international institutions, because at the heart of it, it is about repairing major damage to health systems, education systems, technology systems. It is also about repairing the global terms of trade, the global financial institutions, to create a more just and balanced world for the nations and people of Africa and the Caribbean, for example. So we still do have a long way to go, but there is value in the journey itself. You see, as we make this journey, we are coming closer together as a global African family. And we are seeing it. We are seeing it even in terms of, let's say, the recent development of the direct flight between Barbados and Nigeria, the air peace flight, you know. So it is all, so even the journey of reparations is a good and meaningful thing in itself, because it is helping to bring us, you know, that middle passage separated us, that process of enslavement separated us. The reparations cause is helping to bring us back together as an African family, you know.
And in all these discussions, it begins to shape our minds in a direction that says this is possible. Ambassador, I want to thank you so much as always for joining us in our conversations on CARICOM. And I expect that over time we can dig deeper into the manifesto, the 10-point reparatory justice manifesto, to learn more about how we as citizens can join in the effort.
This is going to become a very, very important public education document. In fact, I think you're going to see public education at a level that we have not seen before, you know, for some time now in Barbados and the Caribbean.
I'm excited about that. Thank you so much as always.
My pleasure.
Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Comissiong, in our conversations on CARICOM. Morning Barbados is back right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Hi, good day. I'm Auntie Diane to some of the children in my life, but I'm also Dr. Diane Brathwaite from the Barbados Diabetes Foundation. So it has been shown that consumption of sugar in excessive amounts contributes to diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, acne, concentration problems, putting on excess weight, and I could go on and on. Do you know that some of your favorite juices, soft drinks, flavored waters contain as much as 6, 10, 12, 17 teaspoons of sugar?
17. 17?
I bet you didn't know that 1 teaspoon of sugar is equal to 4 grams of carbohydrates. So when you drink a drink that contains 53 grams of sugar, do the math. How many teaspoons of sugar are you drinking?
Give me water instead.
Rethink your drink.
A message from the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados and Partners.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 24 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. The National Organization of Women, they have a new executive and they therefore have a new mandate. And so we want to know what is this new mandate and who comprise the new executive. I'm happy to be joined this morning by returning President Melissa Savory. She was returned unopposed. That must be an honor.
Yes,
good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to have you indeed.
Thank you.
Next to her is our Vice President, Senator Roshana Trim. Senator Trim, good morning to you as well.
Good morning to you, Person.
Welcome to the executive.
Thank you.
I mean, you're not afraid of hard work anyway. You do this.
Yes, I am.
Indeed. And so Stacey Ann Charles is the secretary of the organization. Stacey Ann, good morning. Is this your first time on the executive?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I've been vice president 2022.
Oh, you were vice president, so now you're a secretary. That's
Yes.
your choice, right?
Yes.
All right, fair enough. Maya Sam, good morning to you. How are you doing? You're public relations officer.
Good morning.
That's a hefty role.
It is.
But you're up to the task,
I
right?
am. Yes, please.
All right, good. And these are just 3 of the executive, Melissa. There's at least one other person?
Yes, Jennifer Clark. She's the treasurer. She's not here this morning.
All right. You have now a new mandate, a new purpose. What is it that you're focused on this time around?
Well, Pearson, our purpose continue, which is to look after the women of Barbados, right? So we still is the umbrella body for all women organizations out there. But our theme this year is from advocacy to action. So basically, we still we are still going to advocate for our women, but we want to put that into more tangible action and not just all the talk. So yes, the talk must happen in order for things to happen, but we want to put more action behind what we do.
Well, what's the deficit right now that you're trying to fill? Because people would watch and say, but I see y'all get a lot of space, but women are everywhere. What more do you want? What do you say?
You see, people only see things that are advertised and out there, but there's still a lot of things that are not seen. And when you take people into the field, especially when we do our community work and we take people into the field, sometimes people come up with tears and say, but Melissa, I don't know that all of this happening in Barbados. Like, yes, it is. It's just that there's no spotlight on it. So those are the things that we still need to fill. There's still people out there who are suffering. There's still women out there who their rights, are being trampled upon in workplaces, the on-care paid work, and the list can go on safety, And so there's still so much to do, Pearson. It's just that, again, and that's why we are here to help spot the light on some of those things that are happening that people can't see.
Senator Trim, you've been in this activism for so long, the I Am a Girl campaign, which you're a governmental organization of which you're part, but now your voice is amplified based on where you are. What do you think from where you are you can still say to shine the light, as Melissa is saying, about the things that women are still struggling to be able to achieve?
So one of the things I've been very intentional in doing since I've been a senator is that in the presentations where it is possible for me to discuss roles or issues that are specifically gendered, I've done exactly that. And so when we spoke about crime, I mentioned that a lot of the households that we exist in are single parent households, and most of those households are headed by women, and that presents its own challenges in terms of doing the best you can but still confronting challenges. I've also talked about the fact that women exist in more precarious working conditions. They're often in lower income jobs. We saw this particularly during COVID, and so I believe that as someone who is involved in the legislative and policy space, that it is important to highlight those challenges that are not individual challenges but are structural and systemic, and challenges that we have to approach as with a lens that allows for women's issues and the issues of girls to be included from the beginning.
Policy.
Yes.
And so here we are, again, given where you sit, and I'm not going to ask you to tell tales out of school, but what is the one critical policy you think needs to be agitated and forwarded very quickly so that we see the change we're trying to achieve?
I definitely believe that Melissa mentioned the working conditions and needing to have code that really and truly allows for women in those very vulnerable positions in the care industry to be protected. And we saw recently that at the ILO level there was but a convention passed in terms of the gig economy, and there are a lot of women in the gig economy, and so that is one of the things that we need to continue to push, and also to ensure that it's codified here in Barbados as well.
Stacey, and as a secretary though, NOW, National Organization of Women, is a collaboration of women's organization, all who've come together and formed an umbrella called the National Organization of Women.
Yes.
Are you happy with the membership, and what else do you think we can do to make sure that the membership really is on the same page?
So we are 16 affiliates strong, and but our mandate this year is to continue to grow, because the work that we need to do needs to move beyond just the group that we have now. There's a lot still to be done in terms of advocacy, education, helping women to reduce economic pressures, advocating in the workplace. So it's not just going to stop here. So we need more support. We're looking to expand. Within the next 2 years for this term, we hope to add at least 7 additional affiliates, and that is something we're going to be very intentional about.
So how does that look, Maya? What's the plan? You're the public relations officer. Is it that you're going to go out onto the streets preaching and talking? What is it? What's the approach to grow and also to share the campaign?
Well, first, for starters, we would like to reach the younger generation a lot more. And seeing I'm the youngest on the team, I think that best. Before you said that. I think that best suit Ray coming, but I can also learn from my members as well. Social media has a pivotal role in today's society, but it's how to get people attention span for the right amount of time to allow them to feel what we're trying to send to them as well. So we will be a lot more active and consistent and have a better communication panel on that. And also we have our 16 days of activism coming up. So that will be a way for us to actually connect in public. So I think that we have a lot of exciting things happening, and I just want y'all to tune into the space. So you can follow us on our Instagram at No Barbados 246 or our Facebook at National Organization of Women Barbados. Or if you want to become a member, which I strongly suggest, you can contact us via Gmail at barbadosnow@gmail.com.
Since you've claimed that you're the youngest of the panel so far, why did you join a women's organization, one, and why did you put yourself forward to be part of the executive?
Well, volunteering has always been something that just comes second nature. And when the opportunity was presented, Melissa, I was just very excited because not only will I be getting to put digital media, which is a skill of mine, into practice, but you'll also be learning from experienced members. And empowering women is just a serious value of mine. And I think younger women need a lot more guidance and advocacy in that area. And also we need to reach them because the generation is, so we need to reach them before they understand what it is to be a woman, what rights they have, the values, etc.
I think, Melissa, there's a lot of respect for the organization. People now know now, and they know it now because now has always been in our face, now has also been very active, and we're seeing the changes that we're seeing. But as you were saying, it's not moving fast enough. There's a lot more we still can do, unless we forget there's going to be a slippage where women settle and accept.
Yes.
And you were saying the part of the mission in this new campaign that you're having now is to say to women, no, you have to keep amplifying your voice.
Yes.
You have to say, this is what I stand for, or we will have slippage, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So help me understand then, where do you go, what's your first mission? What's the first thing you think you'll want to do?
Well, our first mission is training.
Training?
Yes. So our affiliates, we want to make sure that everybody's on the same page because there's a lot of information out there. But again, how do you dissect it? It's like reading the Bible. They have different religions because people read and understand things differently, right? So you want to ensure that everybody is on the same page. So we're going to go through a series of training. We're going to ensure that all the information that we have is shared between all of our affiliates so that when we come together to work, that we are working with one single goal and purpose in mind and not, scattershot.
So look out for training, follow on socials, right?
Yes,
and see when those training opportunities do show up.
Yes.
But are you confident that you can see the change that you're seeking to have?
Yeah, for sure. Especially with this new executive, I know everybody here is excited and they've already started to work. So I know that for sure that we can do a lot more this term.
I'll come back to the I Am a Girl campaign, Santa Trim, because we do this on Mornin Barbados a lot. We showcased the work of the I Am a Girl non-governmental organization, and we see the change. We've seen young girls now empowered, and they are the ones who are leading workshops and everything else. And these are young girls of school age. Let's look at some of the other things that happen, because we also read the newspapers, and we see men preying on young girls. In different many ways as well. How do we begin from your perspective, from your own mind? How do we you're smiling already because I know this is a scourge that concerns the I Am a Girl campaign as well, so that women understand to respect self and then others will respect you as well.
So just a point of correction, I don't currently work with I Am a Girl. I've worked with them before, but the organization I work with is actually Leadership Institute.
Oh, now?
Yeah. Pardon? Yes. So the truth is that we exist in a space where young women sometimes find themselves pulled for many different reasons. And one of the challenges that we've seen a lot come up would be confidence and also a sense of self-worth and trying to navigate a world that people kind of assume that you know where to go and where to look. And so there are a couple of things that have to happen at the same time. One of those is that we need to make sure that there's a lot of mentorship going on. There are workshops telling young women about guiding young women on how to navigate. But there also has to be a very strong no tolerance for abuse and for manipulation and for persons who seek to exploit children. And so that is something that I definitely believe that we have to place stronger focus on, because the truth is that culturally we don't place as much focus and we don't respond in the way that we need to. There are a lot of things that we accept as being par for the course or as cultural, and so we say, well, everybody used to do that, and at what point in time do you say, well, everybody, it used to happen before, it's now unacceptable, because if you know better, you have to do better. But also the penalties for things like gender-based violence, for sexual harassment, for street harassment, and all of those different things, those are things that have to be much stronger, and that we have to create spaces or a level of comfort for reporting, because we know that that's one of the most underreported crimes. And so not only can we not accurately see the level that it exists and how pervasive it is other than by anecdotal discussion, but also the level of seriousness isn't as strong, because facts beats anecdote every single time. And so it is important that we take a very surgical approach, and an approach that understands the reality that young women experience, and also how do we raise young men and how do we raise young people in general to be more respectful of autonomy, to respect consent, and to also understand those things and understand their rights and how to seek redress.
Every time we sit with y'all, I keep saying this is a conversation to be continued. It truly is a conversation to be continued. But these are the voices of the new executive of the National Organization of Women, the President Melissa Savory, the Vice President in Senator Roshana Trim, the Secretary in Stacey Ann Charles, and Maya Sam is the Public Relations Officer. Keep following on socials and follow the work of the National Organization of Women, because it makes a big difference when you engage with those efforts as well. But I want to thank each of you, and I wish you well.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome. We're back right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories, and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 9 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. Don't forget, you have a chance this crop over season to spot, connect, and to win. And there are many ways in which you can do so. Very simply by spotting, looking around and making sure you spot our brand new Suzuki across GLX4. Look at your screen, that's what you're spotting. And when you spot it, take a photograph of it along with your name and your contact details, many contact details, because wherever you are in the course of any given day, we want to be sure that we can find you. So if it's your mobile phone, make sure your mobile phone is on, make sure you list the number correctly, or if it's going to be at some point you're in the office, make sure you list your office number, all of your contact details you give to us, and you send it to us by email to contests@cbc.bb or via WhatsApp to 233-7356. And we really appreciate you getting involved. Or you can connect with any of our partners, any of those partners like Inchcape Barbados, the Barbados Lottery, Capital Financial, the Student Revolving Loan Fund, or the National Transformation Initiative. Those are our partners in this. And what you're getting is the vehicle plus a year's insurance, valued over $100,000. That is yours simply by being a part of our crop over contest. Spot, connect, and win. Let's turn our attention now And I'm supposing this is Sanjean?
Yes.
Good morning, Sanjean.
Good morning.
Sanjean is the Acting Director of the Barbados Compliance Division in the Ministry of Energy, Business Development and Consumer Affairs. We're looking at a new initiative. Welcome, first of all, to Mornin Barbados.
Thank you for having me, Pearson.
You're welcome. Say your last name for me.
So my name is Sanjean Watkins Diang.
Diang.
Yes, it's not that difficult.
Once you put it in your mind,
Yes,
Diang.
yes, Diang.
And so you lead a section known as the Barbados Compliance Registry. Talk to me, division. Talk to me about what that is designed to do.
Okay, so the business is actually the Business Compliance Division, and this is a new name. Prior to that, we were known as the International Business Unit, and we are a division within the Ministry of Energy, Business Development and Consumer Affairs. Now, the role of our division is one of compliance. What we are essentially here to do is to ensure that businesses in Barbados, the business environment, is compliant with international standards. We're also concerned with ensuring that the investment environment is attractive. So we are responsible for the negotiation of double taxation agreements and bilateral investment treaties. So that's just part of what we do. But today we're here to talk about compliance.
Why is the compliance important?
So Barbados is a global financial center. We're a hub for business. We are open for investment. We want businesses to come here and set up and operate from Barbados. So in order for that to happen, the environment must be attractive and it must be compliant. Our reputation, Barbados's reputation, must be protected at all times, and we must be seen as a credible partner, a credible place to invest. So that's why compliance with international standards is important.
And it's important because the world watches us. We're now a global player. And so to be a global player, we must be able one-on-one and follow the same rules.
Yes.
Others are, and therefore we have to be. And so if I'm operating at the moment, I think I'm compliant, is that enough? Or what do you want me now to do?
So that's a good question. So what we are launching is something called a Central Beneficial Ownership Registry. And this is a registry where companies, limited partnerships, external companies, and societies with limited liability, they will be required to file their beneficial ownership information. So I can see your next question. What is beneficial ownership information? This is information on the real people who own and control companies. So we're looking at those, we like to say in the office, the person with the heartbeat. We don't want just names on paper. So the individuals who actually own and control companies, their information is what we will be keeping in this register. It's a secure register, not available to the public. And what we're going to be asking within the next few weeks is that companies get themselves ready to be able to bring this information to us at the division.
There's some spaces that have silent partners, and you're saying the silence is now broken.
Yes,
Okay.
That's right. What we found, and internationally, it is known that companies with very complex structures, those are companies that criminals like to use to hide behind, because it's hard to see who actually owns the entity. So yes, it's all about transparency. We want to promote transparency. If we can promote transparency, we can protect Barbados, we can protect companies. It's really for the benefit of our jurisdiction.
If we don't, what's the damage?
Well, if we are not found to be compliant, then we could be listed. We could be listed by the international standard setting bodies or other political groupings. So we really want not to go there. And the idea, we will be launching a campaign within the next few weeks called Mind Your Business. And this campaign will be educating the public, the relevant companies and entities who will need to come forward with their information educating them about the type of information they will need to provide, but also where to bring the information. For smaller companies, there will be assistance provided to help smaller companies comply with this requirement.
How is that campaign going to be rolled out? Is that I will visit your office, or is it how is it going to work?
So we will start by using social media. So we will, if you visit the ministry's Instagram page, you'll already see there's some information there. That is MOB_Barbados on Instagram. We will be publishing information in the newspaper. There will be jingles you will hear. So we are really going out there and letting the public know about this new requirement.
Everything has timelines.
Yes.
So what's your timeline on this initiative so that we are ensuring that everyone registers onto the registry and is compliant?
As soon as possible. Right now.
You know, I say to people, I've never seen it on a calendar anywhere, but nonetheless, go ahead, as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. So within the next few days, you'll begin to see the campaign rolling out. So between June and July, that's what you will see. The legislation is also being prepared and should be ready within this month. Well, within July. So we're going full force ahead to get this message out there, so that as soon as we are ready, as soon as the portal is open to receive the information, we're in a position to begin to receive that information.
Okay. How do you check to verify that a portal is a portal, what it gets is what it gets, but how do you check to verify the information I've just put into this portal is correct?
So we have a team of officers at the Business Compliance Division who have already started training in understanding beneficial ownership and conducting verification activities. I'm glad you asked that question, because verification really is an important part of what we will have to do. We will be consulting other sources of information, so we will be going to, whether it be immigration office, whether it be other regulators, the BRA, just to verify that you are who you say you are. We will be using open source data to conduct verification. We will be, for those companies who use corporate and trust service providers, we will be going to them as well to make sure that they too are conducting verification and collecting information, just to make sure that we are sure without reasonable doubt that this person is actually who owns and controls the entity. So there are cases where the person who may own an entity on paper is not the person who is calling the shots.
Exactly.
And we will be going as far as looking at minutes of meetings, seeing who really is making those important strategic decisions of the company.
The company that you're looking to capture within this registry, do you have a baseline? I'll ask that for a reason, because there's some people who, I have a company of just 10 of us who work there, and it's just me. Is that the kind of company you're going after, or are you going after the ones that have the high-rise buildings and all the rest of it from which they operate, or have several satellite offices? Right.
So we are looking at all companies that are incorporated in Barbados.
Once they're registered and incorporated,
yes,
then you should. So you have your list that you can match against to see who has filled in the
all
information.
Companies. And that's a good question, because I don't want anyone to feel that this doesn't concern them. So this is all companies. If you are a hairdresser and you are registered and incorporated at the corporate registry, this concerns you. If you are a larger company, this concerns you. So that's why it's really important just to keep listening to see when we are ready to receive this information and get companies on board. Just want to say that the information will be secure. The platform that will be used to house this information is a secure platform. So there's no need to be afraid of your information getting out there. That this is a core part of what we're doing to ensure the information is kept secure and safe.
That is so good to hear indeed. I want to thank you for joining us. But of course, folks, we're encouraged to follow on Instagram, MOB_Barbados. How do you spell out the word Barbados? MOB_Barbados on Instagram. Follow the campaign, keep watching and listening and reading, and you will see how the campaign unfolds to remind you and to encourage you to do register for the registry. And so don't hide. This is really what we're all required to do now. We're operating in a different space and a different time. And so this is just a part of that difference. So we encourage you, those of you who operate, whether you're a hairdresser or not, and you're incorporated, this is for you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. Can I add one more thing? I just want to add that today Barbados was actually removed from the Spanish listing, a negative listing that we've been on for a while. So that is great news for Barbados. I want investors to recognize we're no longer on that list, and Barbados continues to be open for business.
Well said. Thank you so much for joining us for that as well. You heard it first here on Mornin Barbados. We're right back right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
To better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Schooled. A look into the future.
Morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's look at the news now. The Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security.
I'm going to admit a little bit. Again, we talk about it. We talk about climate smart agriculture. Many of the farms are not actually doing it every day. It's still an esoteric idea. We need to be able to change that significantly.
Dr. Monroe Knight also says plans to address predial larceny and the issue of monkeys within the next 3 months.
We're going to have an interagency pilot to address predial larceny and the monkey population. That's practical delivery and important. It's one of those systemic challenges. I can't tell farmers, I can't tell households about come and produce more, grow more in your kitchen garden and all of that. And then they can tell me every time they grow something, the monkey just come.
The biggest consumer, the biggest customer right now.
Customer, or somebody can come teach, steal the crop. So I got to be able to address that and very, very practically. I would say to you, I've given everyone, again, some very, very specific timelines and asked them to apply their solutions based on a specific metric that is going to be deliverable.
The Barbados Postal Service is continuing its push towards modernization with the addition of another electric vehicle to its fleet. Government says the investment is more than about sustainability. It forms part of a wider plan to transform the Postal Service into a modern logistics and digital services hub. Here's a report from Deanza Roberts.
What may look like a simple electric golf cart is being described as another important step in transforming the Barbados Postal Service. Government officially added this electric vehicle to the postal fleet that will operate at the Grantley Adams International Airport's airmail unit. Joanne Busby, Postmaster General, says it will help move mail more efficiently while reducing fuel costs and emissions.
Well, today's unveiling really centers on a single vehicle. It represents more than a new addition to our fleet. It reflects an ongoing commitment to building a modern, efficient, and environmentally responsible Barbados Postal Service that supports the vision of the Government of Barbados for a greener future. This investment builds on the introduction of electric vehicles into our Post Express couriers operation and demonstrates that sustainability is becoming an integral part of every aspect of our operations.
But Minister of Home Affairs and Information Gregory Nichols says the investment is only one piece of a much bigger plan. Government wants the Barbados Postal Service to evolve beyond delivering letters into a modern logistics network capable of supporting parcel distribution and digital government services.
We are positioning the Barbados Postal Service to become a trusted point for digital government and financial transactions, supported by both physical and online platforms. In practical terms, this includes 1. The National Payment System. The Post Office will serve as a secure payments hub, enabling citizens to pay government fees, taxes, licenses, and permits, settle utility bills, conduct approved third-party transactions, and access services regardless of whether they are digitally connected or not.
Government also wants the institution to offer digital access and e-commerce services.
Post offices across the island can function as community digital service centers, where citizens can 1. Access e-government portals with assistance, complete online applications for public services, print, scan and submit official documents, receive guidance on digital transactions. As an e-commerce hub supporting services, the post offices will introduce services to support individuals and businesses engaging in online trade, including parcel tracking and notification systems, click and collect services at postal locations, returns management systems, digital customs declarations and pre-clearance processes.
Following the ceremony, Minister Nichols joined postal officials for the unveiling before getting comfortable in the new electric vehicle as they showcased the latest addition to the growing fleet. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
A number of roadworks and infrastructural projects are set to take place in the St. Michael's South constituency very soon. This was disclosed by Member of Parliament for the area and Minister of Transport and Works, Kirk Humphrey. He was speaking at the St. Michael's South Annual General Meeting held at the Graydon Seeley School over the weekend.
Richland, we are now looking at a comprehensive study. There are a few houses that have to move, but we're going to fix Richland. Richland is the sloping road coming off of Flagstaff Hill. That road is about to be fixed. We're about to start the project down in the Bayland in Jessamine, and we're now moving to acquire the land. I've been talking about this so long. Finally, we're doing it. The land at the corner of Villa Road and Britain's New Road, right there, that is a little space. I want to put a community empowerment center right there. And to name that center after people in the community.
Noted there are plans to rename a basketball court in the Bayland in honor of a community stalwart.
I think we've agreed that in the middle of July too, we're going to rename the Bayland court, the netball court, the basketball court in the Bayland. We're going to rename that after the Banfield sisters. So that has been agreed at Parliament. That has been agreed at Cabinet, sorry. So we're going to have that ceremony in the middle of July because the Banfield family, anybody who knows netball will know the contribution that they made.
Go to sports now. Paradise is the new BFA knockout king after staging a late comeback to dethrone Weymouth Wales in the Champions Cup final. Meantime, the Women's League also continued at the BFA Technical Centre, and Margaret Rich-Boyce reports.
Opening day for the Women's League at the BFA Technical Centre. Empire in the red versus Paradise Women. Corner kick to Empire, and Torianka Duggan hits it on the volley. That's 1-0. Paradise on the attack now with Acacia Small. Oh, this is brilliant from Payne, and the cross is touched in by Kitaralo. Own goal, all square. And that was the foundation Paradise Women needed to go on to take the victory. Soraya Toppin Herbert shut the earth and then slotted it home. Paradise Women 2, Empire 1, the final score. On to the big BFA Cup final now. Defending champions Weymouth Wales in the green up against rivals Paradise. Goalless up until the 42nd minute. Wales with a corner. Bit of hot potato in the box before Mario Williams gets the final touch. Wales 1, Paradise 0 at the break. Second half now, and it seemed like a familiar story. Wales still leading, but in the 82nd minute, Jerron Otterson arrives at the party, clips it over the keeper. Listen to the crowd. 1-1 the score. And then the script flip. Momentum with Paradise. 2 goals in 4 minutes. What a comeback. Shamari here with the man. Will Stun. Sign the back of the check. Paradise are the champions, depositing $20,000. Congratulations to the boys from Dover and Mark Goodrich boys. CBC Sports.
And that's a look at news and sports. It's 14 past the hour. Morning Barbados is right back right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scald is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's now 15 and a half after the hour, and so we turn our attention now to burnout. And I know I say that like that deliberately because sometimes we don't even ourselves recognize when we are experiencing burnout, or maybe we don't quite understand how to define when we are having burnout, and that is what we want to dispel for you today. And then what do we do? What do we do? How do we create the balance that we're all seeking to have as we live? We want to live life with purpose, but we want to live life happily as well. So how do we reach the balance? We're joined this morning by Tanja Gittins, who is a personal wealth strategist and an author as well. She's looked at this very critically. We believe she has some solutions. Good morning to you, Tanja.
Good morning, Pearson. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us indeed. So how do we define burnout?
Well, burnout, according to the World Health Organization, is actually a workplace phenomenon. They have said that it comes from the workplace. It is not a critical illness. And while there's some research now going on about whether burnout can come from other areas of your life, like financial stress or carers burnout, according to the established definition by the World Health Organization, it is a workplace phenomenon. And it comes basically from when you work in an environment where you don't have control, when systems don't work, if you are working excessive amounts of hours, or if you work in an environment that is hostile or abusive. And that is what creates that burnout in you.
Everybody's watching us. That sounds like me, you know, almost a totality. But at the same time, there are different elements. We all experience burnout in so many different ways, and we display burnout in so many different ways. So let's look a little bit at how do we know now, based upon what you just said, that what we are experiencing can be termed as burnout?
So in some areas, it can look like the decisions that you're making. What people have is decision fatigue. So it gets to the point where you just cannot make another decision today, or you find yourself apprehensive about your decisions. And because of that, there's also a financial element of that, because people who go through like decision fatigue, etc., tend to make impulsive buying decisions that they would not normally make if they were not experiencing that level of burnout. Burnout can also formulate in the way that you become a negative person. You may not necessarily be a negative person or what people call a cynic, but when you're burnout, you just have that type of behavior because you feel like there is no hope. Of course, there's the health aspects of it. There is the fatigue. You can get to the point where you just don't really care about things anymore. And it also looks at your productivity in terms of the level of what you're producing, the quality of what you're producing. So it can manifest itself in different ways, and that's outside of your health, because there's a whole other section of looking at it from a physical health perspective or even a mental health perspective.
And oftentimes those in the office say, well, then clearly you're having a problem at home because there are others in the office who don't have the same experience that you're having. And I think that's sometimes why people misdiagnose it or don't recognize this is exactly what this individual is struggling with. They don't see it as an individual experience, they see it as a group experience. So if the group is functioning, but you are having a problem, then you are the problem. And you're saying to officers today, stop for just a moment and as we say, smell the roses and see that this child, this one, is having a challenge. And what are we doing? Listen to them as well. Is what you're saying?
Yes, and because in everything in life, there's going to be that personal experience. And we are all made up different. You know, we have different experience which translates to who we are as a person. You can come into a room, I come into that room, there's a smell in that room, it affects you, it doesn't affect me. And you know, we just have different experiences in life. We have different coping mechanisms in life. We are raised different, our resilience look different. So because a person is not manifesting this type of behavior, even in terms of personalities, you know, everyone in the office doesn't have the same level of personality. You have an office that, let's say, may be chaotic. As an introverted person, it means that you're on high alert all day long. That doesn't always translate for the person who's a more extroverted type of person and wants to bounce around to everybody's cubicle to talk all day. So as individuals, we all have our personal experience in life to begin with. So it will look and translate different in the workplace as well.
And so in the workplace, if we don't pay attention, if we don't try to respond to it, there's a cost.
Yes.
There's something we're losing. And sometimes that loss is productivity.
Yes.
Or people just show up and they're just not there.
Yes.
So at the same time. And that reflects in our bottom line.
Yes.
So we have to be very conscious. And so this message is really to who? The HR practitioner, or is this to everyone within the office?
It's to everyone. There is an individual aspect of it where you have to take control for yourself in terms of setting boundaries and to understand what burnout looks like for you, or to understand what your experience is and what you're going through and how you are going to, what mechanisms you're going to put in place for you. It also comes from the work environment in terms of producing a work environment. You know, people are entitled to go to work in an environment that is not hostile, is not abusive, and is conducive to work. But there is also a larger, bigger picture in terms of productivity and even for the country as a whole. You know, there are some statistics out there which we've not yet been able to put a dollar value for Barbados, but if I share some statistics, they're saying between $4,000 to $20,000 per individual is what you can lose in productivity. And when you were saying about people are present but not there, there's a new term we have for that now called presenteeism. And it has become very prevalent since COVID, and persons have come back to the office where an individual could be present physically, but they're not mentally there. So there is a cost of burnout. There is a cost in terms of lack of productivity. And this is even before we get to the cost of, you know, like absenteeism and people staying home from work and the work not getting done, and, you know, what it costs for a business when you have persons who are there may not be performing to the level at which they are producing. There is a cost for everyone.
Our ears prick when we hear dollar signs.
Yes.
You know, so I want you to repeat that statistic again.
Between $4,000 to $20,000 per person per year is what burnout actually costs in terms of lack of productivity or presenteeism.
And if you multiply that by the number of people in the organization, you're heading for a significant figure at the end of it. So we see the bottom line, and you see the effect, therefore, on the bottom line if we don't get it right within the organization alone. And so from where you sit as a certified certified accountant, you see all of this. You see how life impacts the organization and its productivity, but you see how systems also impact the situation as well. What are some of your recommendations? I really want to look at this in detail now. What can one do to be able to fix this?
From an individual perspective, I think it comes down for you to have boundaries as well, to understand where you are at and what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, is even in terms of like the excessive amount of hours and stuff like that. But if we were looking at work burnout as a whole total in terms of the company and the organizations and stuff like that, we have to look at our systems. Our systems are not the most productive. You may have individuals going to work doing things on a daily basis that are not needed. And sometimes what happens is that people will continue to do this work because they want to earn a living, but there's not that, you know, real focus on doing a quality job because they don't think like, oh, this is beneficial to anyone. So we want to start to look at our systems. Is there a safer way to do this? Is there a better way to do this? Is there a more efficient way to do this? Are these systems talking to each other? We want to be able to speak speak to your staff to get the input from them. It's okay to put a system in place, or it's okay to implement someone, to implement something, but the individuals actually doing the job should actually have some level of way in. Like, how does this translate at the end of the day to the amount of hours that we're spending at work? Is there a better way for us to do this? Is there a format in which we can have feedback? Am I allowed to be able to go to the HR department, to go to XY and say, well, you know what, I think that based on what we're doing here, maybe we should look at XYZ, as opposed to saying this is our rules and this is how this works.
I want to look at the costs and benefits as well, not just the cost from the other side of the equation. Right after this break, we're talking to Tanja Gittins, who is a certified personal wealth strategist, and she's looked at this question of burnout and balance. We look at that and the cost if we don't get it right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today.
Morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So we're looking with Tanja Gittins at this whole question of burnout and balance, and the cost. If we do it right and if we don't do it wrong, there's also a cost to doing it. And so I'm showing that there are people who run businesses today who are saying, okay, you're saying to me, Tanja, to be able to sort out my systems in the office as well so that my people are happy. But where am I going to find the money to change out the technology into such a way that they're happy? And why should I do it to make them happy? They're here to do work, I pay them. What do you say to that?
Yes, but there's also a cost to the company, because I would like to think that most companies understand that being efficient is also very beneficial to their bottom line. If you have happy staff, we all know profit starts with happy staff. There are a lot of benefits in terms of implementing systems that work and fine-tuning efficiencies and stuff like that will hit to the bottom line. I think because we are more in an environment where it is more human related, where persons or sometimes companies think, okay, well, if A person doesn't do this job, I can get B, C, or D to do this job, then they don't necessarily have that motivation to implement something that they think is going to cost money on the top line, which they may not necessarily feel that they can see the benefits of. But I also say that sometimes people just do this as emotion and not that they've ran the numbers to understand how will efficiency translate to my bottom line. And these are things that as companies we really have to start to get into, and not necessarily just looking at the top like, oh, this is a big, large initial outlay that I have to look at, but also do the cost analysis of why it is that you should be doing what we think you should be doing.
You're looking at a cultural shift.
Yes.
Generally, because for time immemorial, the unit of production doesn't necessarily sit in the office upstairs that says I'm the boardroom. That unit of production is on the floor to do this and to do that, to go home, because at the end of the month I shall pay you. And that's our agreement. So I've met my agreement to you, so therefore meet your agreement to me. And you're asking now, whether you're in the HR or in the C-suite, to look at the individual for just a moment, because they are equally important. That's a shift. How do you see this working?
It is a shift, but also remember that we've also have a shift in human behavior. So, there's a lot of conversation about the boomers and millennials and Gen X and Gen Zs and all of this conversation, which, to be honest with you, I try not to get into the stereotype of it. Yes. But we also have individuals who are now saying to us, I am not a machine. I'm a human being. I come to work and there are certain expectations that I have. So it's okay to say, like in the past, if you look at like the theory of Maslow's, hierarchy of needs, we talked about being able to have food and whatever. The individuals that we have now are not individuals who are out there worried about whether or not they may be able to feed themselves. They come from families who are ensuring that they have been able, those needs have been able to take care of them. So we're higher up now on the list of needs. So they're saying, I need to have a level of self-fulfillment when I come into this job. I don't just want to come to work and press these buttons when the day come, earn a paycheck and go home. What else is there? We talk about life is short, but at the same time, are we living a lifestyle that says life is short, I may not be here that long, I want to be intentional and productive. So sometimes businesses may sit back and think that they can continue in the way that they have always, but the environment will help them shift in some aspects, because at some point in time, we're going to get to the point where the worker is going to be saying, this is how I want to work. And I'm not necessarily saying that that is the way to go in terms of from bottom up, but I'm saying that we have to find a better balance.
So how do we find, what's the balance? What do you see as a good balance to strike that we can know that everyone in this equation is happy?
I think we have to get to the point where human resource is not just about rules and regulations, but there's an aspect of health and wellness and well-being. And look at foremost, like what is it to work when I come to work here at CBC? If I'm a CBC employee, what does that mean, health and wellness for my well-being? And once companies can start to look at that from that perspective, then they can say, okay, this is the type of environment that I want to create for the staff when they come in here. This is the type of environment that I think that they are better workers or they're better productive coming out of them from that. Also, remember that the workers also have a responsibility to show up and actually do the job in which they're paying you for. Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense.
That's right.
Bottom line is king. People are in business to earn a profit. So we have to be able to find the balance in between of this is a worker who is coming to work. There are human beings. They have a certain level of expectations of how we should provide for them. And the worker also needs to understand this is a business. We're here to earn a living. And I think there needs to be a lot more communication going on in between there. And I think that we also have to look at some of the practices that we've had from yesteryear and understand that they're not going to carry us through.
We live in a society, though, at the same time. So while this business A might attend to what you're talking about, business B, which is just next door, is not. And then I have to leave business A to go into the community to engage with business B. And I'm going to run into a space which is going to annoy me. You understand what I'm saying? And so we want to be able to create pleasant experiences generally, but it's a community, it's Barbados.
Yeah.
Do you see this being an approach that Barbados needs to really pay close attention to and to adopt?
Yes, I do. And not only from the burnout perspective, I think if we look at the general conversation, right now, we're having a lot of conversation about the customer service in Barbados. And there are persons who will say, well, this is what they pay me for. They don't pay me to smile. They don't pay me to be nice. They don't pay me to be whatever. I'm doing the job in which they're paying me for. And even from that perspective, and if we look at a larger outlay, we're talking about we're a tourism country. We're a tourism country that has customer service problems.
Yes.
And all of it translate if we want to talk back to the dollars, because at the end of the day, dollars is the numbers that all of us understand. So yes, as a country as a whole, this is something that I think that we need to really look at. I know that I was speaking to someone quite recently, and I know that the Ministry of Health, that they have their health and wellness coming up in September, and I know that that's one of the things that they want to focus on. There are a lot of organizations out there now that are focused on health and wellness. I've just presented for the TVET Council, and they had a whole conference on health and wellness. And these are always going to be, for the benefit of companies and also for the benefit of the country as a whole. But I think it is the right direction in terms of making certain that health and wellness, but mostly well-being, becomes a big factor into who we are going forward.
One of those factors in our well-being is our finances.
Yes.
I can't walk away without talking about that for a minute. Let's talk a little bit about that balance and how struggling with finances at times can really exhaust you.
Yeah. And there's a big correlation between health and money. There are some studies out there where they are looking at the financial stress that an individual may have and the effects that it have on their mental health and their well-being. And as it's not just because outside is more expensive, but it is also because we live in a world now where there is some level of financial aspects in terms of everything we do in life. Even if we're talking about medical care or we're talking about food and quality food and stuff like that, we need to have that finances there. Outside is getting a lot more expensive. There's still the conversation of whether or not it's better in this era from that era or whatever. And there also a lot of conversation now around whether or not financial stress is what is translating into work burnout, and the correlation between that financial stress and work burnout, or if it's the other way around, between whether the work burnout then is adding to the financial stress. Because if you are work burnout and you're looking at burnout recovery, you have options, which is either to walk away from what you are doing, to seek boundaries, to get some help, and there's a financial cost attached to all of that. So when we look at burnout, and we have to look at the financial aspect of it, and it's not in terms of productivity being lost by companies or countries or individuals, it is also by those hard decisions. What can I do as an individual to help with my burnout recovery, and what is the financial cost attached to it? And in terms of how do you set those boundaries for yourself, I look at a lot of authentic financial living, and that is that if you know who you are as a person, then you are not going to commit yourself to societal pressures, but you want to spend that money on how you think you should spend it on. You don't need the biggest car, you don't need the biggest house, but maybe what you need is some mental therapy. You need a mental therapist, you need a dietitian, you need better health care, So sometimes when we look at, even in terms of getting a new job, we look at lifestyle creep. Do I want to pretend that I'm up with the Joneses and find this social club, or do I need a bigger Jeep? Or maybe what I need is some domestic help to help me when I've already worked 14 hours a day and still have to come home to the children of the house and the cooking and the cleaning. So the financial aspect of it is very big component when we start to look at burnout as a whole.
Oh Lord, life. You have to say it like that, because life can sometimes feel so heavy when one stops for just a moment. But you're thinking, if we just stop for just a moment and reflect and consciously dissect everything that we do and parcel it out accordingly, we'll see the things that we don't need, that we need to shed, and the things that we can actually begin to do and live life a whole lot more meaningfully. And that calls for a lot of financial planning, because at the end of the day, we are still our money. We still have that to deal with as well. Oh, Tanja, I had to take a deep breath because that was so much. But clearly there's an opportunity, if you care to. So let's continue to talk a little bit more about this, so that people can begin to unravel the pain they're experiencing. And sometimes we don't know exactly where the pain is coming from, whether it's burnout at work, burnout at home, burnout with the community, and begin to tackle this in a systemic way that we can fix it. We can really fix it.
So one of the ways I say to individuals, right, you want to look at what your core values are. Who am I as a person? And I know sometimes, because we've been raised in such a small environment, the societal pressures are very heavy on us. We have the religious aspect of it. We have what people think we should be doing. You should be a doctor, you should be a lawyer, you should be a this, you should be that, whatever. Sometimes people go from one house to the next, you don't get a chance to say, I am Pearson, I like purple, I like this, I like putting in sauce. Who are you as a person? You want to dissect your core values. Integrity is important to me. Financial wellness is important to me. Family is important to me. Who are you when no one is looking? Once you're able to establish that, then you look at, I always say to persons, look at your lifestyle. You get it 1 year from now, you're in the perfect place, the perfect location, you have the people around you love the most, you're doing the best job that you like, that makes you feel fulfilled. What does that look like for you? And once you establish what your core values are, once you establish what your ultimate goals are, then you are able to set a path for yourself, or a strategic path for yourself to work towards that. So as you said, you then realize to see, I need to shed this is not actually important to me, but however, this is important to me. So then you are able to put a plan in place that more reflects who you are. So that plan also helps eliminate the burnout aspect of it. Because sometimes the burnout comes from a performance. You spend your life performing. You go to work and you do this job. You go home and you're someone's mom, you're someone's dad, you're someone's wife. You go to church and you're this. You go to a social club and you're this. And then you realize that you're just going through life and you're doing what is expected of you, but it is not necessarily who you are to the core. And that also leads to tremendous amounts of burnout.
All right, Tanja. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tanja Gittins. Wow. There's a lot. All of this is in your book?
Some of it I do speak a lot about, because I've done a lot of research on especially like religion and the plantocracy era and how it's still affecting who we are as people today, and success and fear. Fear is a very big factor in a lot of things that we do, because we have not touched on the point, as you said, we're looking at a transformation of companies and how we work, but you see that word fear, that little four-letter word, that comes a lot into play. And since I've written the book, as I speak to people and I work with people, I realize that we don't lack knowledge, we don't lack motivation, but that fear is what keeps us back.
What's the name of the book?
Living Loud on a Budget, Authentic Financial Living.
That's a long name. Living Loud on a Budget.
Yes.
Living Loud on a Budget on Amazon?
It's on Amazon. It's at UE Bookstore as well.
All right, so check it out. Living Loud. Just key those words in and you'll see it. Tanja Gittins. Tanja Gittins is her name. And then get the copy. Well, there's a lot.
Yes.
Thank you so very much indeed for talking to me.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. She's a personal wealth strategist. She's also the author of that book, Living Loud, and you can find it on Amazon. You can get it from the UE Bookstore as well. It's a good read, and it sounds like a good strategy we should all consider and adopt. Morning Barbados is right back right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity.
If you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Hi, good day. I'm Auntie Diane to some of the children in my life, but I'm also Dr. Diane Brathwaite from the Barbados Diabetes Foundation. So it has been shown that consumption of sugar in excessive amounts contributes to diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, acne, concentration problems, putting on excess weight, and I could go on and on. Do you know that some of your favorite juices, soft drinks, flavored waters contain as much as 6, 10, 12, 17 teaspoons of sugar?
17. 17?
I bet you didn't know that 1 teaspoon of sugar is equal to 4 grams of carbohydrates. So when you drink a drink that contains 53 grams of sugar, Do the math. How many teaspoons of sugar are you drinking?
Give me water instead.
Rethink your drink.
A message from the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados and Partners.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 17 to go to the hour of 8 o'clock now. Emancipation Day is coming up. We are in the season of emancipation. We did launch it right here on Mornin Barbados, and I hope that you're paying attention to all that's been happening, because we're talking about ourselves and we're talking about our future. We're talking about so much more than simply the word emancipation. But what does it mean to you, and what can it mean to you or our country? Indeed, that's what we want to focus on right now. I have with me Akil Eiffel, my good friend Akil, a man who teaches people about life and gets results. I am telling you, first of all, congratulations on your results.
Thank you very much.
Great work you're doing at your school indeed. Joining me from the Busy Bee Writing Academy is Fabian Reeves and Claire, related.
Yeah.
Yes, husband and wife.
I thought so as well. The Reeves are with us from the Busy Bee Writing Academy, and also from the Office of Emancipation within the Prime Minister's office is you too, Michelle Nurse. Good to have you.
Good. I am a nurse, Michelle Marshall.
Oh, Michelle Marshall, I apologize. Michelle Marshall, the nurse. My apologies. I'm just going based on what's written in front of me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, Michelle, I'll start with you. The reason for emancipation. Put that into context for us.
I think we're celebrating emancipation as a section to raise awareness, for us to understand where we have come from, where we are presently, and certainly where we're going. It is not a season to create animosity. It is really a season to create amicable relationships. So we form that concept, I am because you are. And it's really to look back like Sankofa and see where we've come from, but really to understand where we have developed to. And we can see the futuristic where we're going. I think that's what emancipation is. Holding sovereignty, holding rulership, taking responsibility, that socially for social responsibility, that physical for physical responsibility, and certainly for emotional responsibility.
So even if it's just for a moment in the year, we look into the mirror.
Yes.
We look into the soul, we see who we are, and we see our purpose. And we see where we've come from, but we also see ahead of us the journey, because we see the beauty in the travel that we've taken so far. Am I reading you correctly?
And the resilience.
And the resilience.
And the resilience.
And there's a lot that we can do to be able to reinforce that, because oftentimes we look into that same mirror, we don't understand our definition. We don't quite understand what we see. We see, but we don't quite understand what we see. And so the series of activities in the season, Akil, no doubt helps us to be able to sharpen the focus. So let's look at what's happening in the series of emancipation activities that would help us to sharpen our focus.
Okay, so what normally happens is that Barbadians would know that the Emancipation Day is August the 1st, which obviously falls within the crop-over framework. However, it's a season of emancipation. And if we've been following the news recently, last few months, we would know that on March the 25th, there was a resolution at the UN to declare slavery the greatest tragedy of mankind. And on that backdrop, the Prime Minister has done a lot of work visiting Ghana in terms of meeting with the President for the Next Levels Conference to work on reparatory justice. In this year, for the season of emancipation, we wanted to look at how can we educate Barbadians more, how can we do more and make the season a lot more viable. We're going to have groups from the skating association, skating groups. We have the Black Knight Riders, we have the trucks, the cars, and it was asked last year, why that? Because you're looking to grow the emancipation season. So you want to involve people from different facets of life, not just the same old individuals who would come out and support the older ones. We want to see the younger individuals as well. So in this season, the theme is emancipation to reparations. And on that backdrop, we have two major plays, two big productions. One would be The Gods Within Us, which is written by Andrew Bino, Sister Spencer Cross, and Kevin Carvalho. And I think that's important because it looks at the black man in the ideology of spirituality and religion. And that is on August the 2nd. On July the 26th, we have the St. Barnabas Church. They're doing something called Bob Marley Mass Play. Yes, you hear Michelle likes that. Very excited. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I will say that from what I've seen so far, It is going to be very exciting, and it's going to be at the St. Barnabas Church on 26th of July. Now, on the actual
Is
day...
that a day of national significance?
Yes, it is also on that day too. So it's a significant event on the day of national significance within crop over and the emancipation season. On the day, we are looking to have tributes done by not just the spiritual Baptists, the different religious groups, but we want to create that atmosphere around the Emancipation Village there in Colombo, Highgate Hall, where we have the bikers, the faith-based groups. We have entire groups coming to celebrate emancipation, because too often we talk about emancipation and we look at it in terms of breaking chains, but you also have businesses, you also have students who may not know that they need to liberate themselves and use education as a tool to grow.
Of course.
And I think that, you know, it's vital, the social media this time around, because each day, or on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, we're posting. We have some skits that we're going to have launching on CBC probably in a week or 2 weeks from now, where we discuss aspects of emancipation. Because when you say the word emancipation, many Barbadians say, but why you got to care about emancipation? Slavery done ever since. And it's not about post-colonial slavery. It's not about the ending of slavery. Slavery is about the understanding that as a black person in a black country, what are you celebrating? What is blackness? What is being an ancestor? What is understanding your liberation from the struggles that you've had? So I want to shout out quickly the minister, Trevor Prescott, because he has responsibility for Pan-African affairs and also heritage. And that heritage part is important because we need to appreciate who we are as a people.
You know, I say all the time, had it not been for your parents saying and looking into your face as a little baby, hi, Akil, this is Akil, everybody be Akil.
Identity.
That's how you got your name. You remembered your name.
Believe it or not, that's exactly what happened.
We have to say it often enough.
Agreed.
And repeat it often enough for us to get it.
Agreed.
Because we have been told for too long that we were just chattel. We were worth nothing, we were black, we were ugly, we were just producers of children.
Yes.
We were told all of these things.
Yes.
The narrative is shifting.
It has.
And so, well, you ask every year, why do we bother with this every year? We bother because it's important. We bother because we want every one of us to know and to remember
and to understand
and to reflect and to internalize and to get. And in getting, then we behave in the way that we ought to behave. And that's important. And Akil behaves like Akil because his parents told him, you are Akil and you're an Eiffel.
And again.
So therefore you behave like an Eiffel. And you honor that what you know, who you are and where you've come from. The same thing as a people.
That's
everybody.
it. That's it. So even with the bikers, I mean, they have organized themselves as a gang, and we would remember that our ancestors were in gangs. There were gangs going into the cane field. So this whole sense of gang, this sense of love and belonging, this because the person before us talked about Maslow, and Maslow talks about, you know, meeting those basic needs and then moving out to safety, love and belonging, and then self-actualization. So how do we as a people self-actualize when we have these different facets, those determinants at the bottom base, they're kind of like moving. So these groups, I mean, what he's doing, I mean, Black Knight is coming together. So yes, we can come together. We have love. We put on the same jacket. So we are identified together. We roll together. We roll together for the cause. Because every time a child kills another child, and I call them children, it hurts every grandmother. It hurts every mother. It hurts every daughter and son. So we are coming together to say, you know, emancipation, we fought already. Let's stop fighting. Let's now come together for peace. Let's take social responsibility. Let's look at social justice. Every time I hurt somebody, I'm hurting everybody because we're all together in this thing. And as Minister Motley has just been awarded some award for bringing Africa together, and we are here in this Emancipation Committee to bring Barbados together, so you understand that it is love that we're pushing. We understand we've been through already. Nanny Gregg did it, Buster did it, our ancestors, too nameless, have done it, and we are now coming together to let you know, yes, we've struggled. But look where we are. Education has liberated us. Now we can read to you, we can go back to Africa and teach them, because we as diasporic people, we are celebrating more than they, because they have been affected. Walter Rodney talked about, you know, how Europe has decolonized Africa, how he's made them, is underdeveloped them. You know, so we now are taking these resources and really mobilizing our young people to come together and feel pride in themselves, to look into the mirror and see that reflection. Oh my goodness, I'm very happy about how I look. And you are a direct reflection of me, because there's no difference between you and I. No matter what costume you're wearing, the body is just a costume, but the inner spirit is the same. And once we are saying love, respect, one aim, one God, one destiny, not identified by your God and my God, no. If you have a God, that's fine, that gives you a desire for something higher than yourself. And when you look at your brother and sister, you see them as that. You don't kill your brothers and sisters, you care for them.
Yeah. Michelle, I feel you.
Thank you so much.
I feel it, so I'm shivering inside. We'll take a break right here while I settle, and we'll come right back to continue this conversation in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Art, you feel it too, I'm sure, about Emancipation now. And so there's an activity coming up tomorrow, Akil. What's happening tomorrow?
Yeah, so tomorrow we are having the launch for the season of Emancipation. It's going to be at 10 o'clock at the Colombo Village, which is basically there in Haggett Hall by the Buster statue when you come around, on the side there by Imart. And there we will reveal all of the things that we want to do, because it's not just a day. It's not just the 1st of August. There are a lot of activities. We have the Emancipation pop-ups on Fridays. We have different activities that will be happening Friday evenings also in the Colombo Village. You know, but I'm very excited about the bikers.
I love it.
Because I want to learn to ride motorcycle.
Yeah, you're daring in that kind of way. So, Fabian, talk to me a little bit about the involvement of the Busy Bee Academy in all of this.
Well, first of all, I'm talking about from the aspect of the club, Black Knight Bikers, being the president of the club. And it's first, for me, this is an honor to be part of the committee. Akil, working with Akil and the rest of the committee is like an honor to have them, the persons with all this knowledge and the responsibility to do certain things to change how people view emancipation is a real honor for me. So the part I'm playing is with the automobile, bringing that aspect to the forefront. We have the different clubs coming on board and responsible for the different clubs coming on board. Not only Black Knight Bikers, but we have the 246 quad, we have the Distinguished Cruisers, we have the Tridents, which we would call the old guys, the mature guys, right? We have the retro cars coming on board, because we want to build a story where we came from to where we at right now. And you know, before we had the gold carrots, we had the donkey carrots, and it's how our forefathers fought to get us to where we are today. So it's just me bringing that aspect to the forefront where emancipation is celebrated.
And
So
to show people that a lot of the things that you're riding and driving and everything else, black people had hands in developing and designing those too. They were not designed by the Europeans.
Right.
We were the ones. We were the creators of a lot of this.
So this is where we're trying to build that story and showcase that we brought that to the forefront. So the part I playing is very special for me, right? To have all the guys coming out, and all the guys are keen on coming out, right? Even the off-road junkies, really big jeeps and stuff that are coming out. So we're gonna have different times. We have times where the same pop up events where we will have a Black Knight event where we have the car audio guys, the guys with the big systems and sound systems and stuff will be there, right? Those guys are keen on coming out to showcase their stuff. So just bringing the different young to all aspects of people to draw more people into the Emancipation Day celebration.
And while it's a spectacle, it's not a spectacle alone. There's a message in all of this. So Claire, you're excited to be a part of this messaging?
Well, I am. I work at Busy Bees with my husband, and I think it would be fair to say that I am the first female Barbadian motorcycle coach.
Wow.
And so
Congratulations.
for me, to me that's an emancipation in and of itself, because there are a lot of people that come to the school and they never ever thought that they could. And when they see me riding and they see a couple of other females that are out there riding, there's a sense of freedom and there's a sense of releasing fear and knowing, yes, I can do this. So I am coming out with my best dress.
Emancipation from driving a car to driving
to riding a bike.
Pearson and I, we were discussing having motorcycles going forward. Can we get Pearson?
Oh, yes, we try to get him on a motorcycle. Yes.
I deal with the beginners, so I'm ready when you're ready.
I could do AI. Indeed. What time is tomorrow's launch?
Tomorrow's launch is at 10.
10 o'clock in the morning.
10 o'clock
I want to invite everyone to come on down to the Quilombo Village. You all know where that is. I actually love that space so much because last year, last year, the year before.
Yes, it was an entire village. We were trying to recreate it this time again.
Yeah, so it is a space where I just saw people relaxing, enjoying the traditional games, having conversation, coming down to see craft, and just engaging as who we are.
Yes.
And that's the village concept that we were raised in and where we've come from. And so we must get back to the village concept where we all in this together.
And we want to also get back to the storytelling. We want to bring back the Anansi, because we recognize that Hollywood has taken over the place of our grandparents, and our grandparents would have informed us of, not to go down the road because something would happen, and Anansi would have said, well, this is what would happen to me if I go and I steal, or this is what happened to me if I go and I take up. So these stories, most persons would think, oh, we as Africans, we did not have any written history, but our history was context within symbolism, within deep stories of ancestral reverence. So we would like parents to understand the need and what's the relevance of reading bedtime stories again. They get community, they get time together, they get an opportunity to hear from the children. And you turn off the television a little bit. We see children 18 months on social media. Person is not healthy.
No, it's not.
It's not healthy. So let's get back to stories.
There you go. I love it. Thank you, Akil, Fabian, Claire, and Michelle. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. This is only the oomph of a conversation on emancipation and just the whole season. And so we would love to be able to have more of these exchanges. I encourage you to come back soon, please. I'm enjoying this.
Mini motorcycles for you?
Yes, that's all. You can have it there in the studio while I watch it. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks very much indeed. You're welcome. Don't forget, it launches tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning, Quilombo Village, right in Haggett Hall, 1 Haggett Hall. You know exactly where it is. You can't miss it because you'll see it. Morning Barbados ends here. My little crew joins me in saying to all of you, have a terrific today. Be the will of the Lord. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.